You're live.
Okay, we are live and you're on.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Woodstock Union High School and Middle School. My name is Owen Whalen. I am a senior here at the high school. And today I'm going to be leading a fishbowl activity with this group of students and you all. A fishbowl is an opportunity for individuals such as yourself to gain perspectives that they might not typically have access to for whatever reason, but this opportunity lets us kind of share our voices without restriction. You know, it's an open discussion that we'll be having on the inside of the circle, and you all will be listening, or we'll be having the discussion on the inside, and you will be listening on the outside. We have 5 questions that we'll be going over today in 10 minutes if we have the time to get through all of them. And then after that, it'll swap for you all to have 5 minutes to join the inside. We'll go to the outside and you can reflect on what we've said and response, like you can respond to our responses to the questions, if that makes sense. And then after that, there'll be time for the question and answer. You can ask us any clarifying questions that you might have based on what we've said, and we can respond to them. But yeah, we really just want to have our perspectives get out in the open and have us be able to share them. So that's what we're going to be doing. All right. So, sorry. I am, like I said, Owen Whalen, 12th grade, and I come from Bethel, Vermont, and that's what we'll all be sharing.
Okay, I'm Brody Allen. I'm also in 12th grade, and I come from Reading, Vermont.
I'm Ashton Perkins. I am in 10th grade, and I come from Palmer, Vermont.
I'm Ava Walker. I'm in 9th grade and I'm from Woodstock, Vermont.
I'm Mackenzie Graham. I'm in 11th grade and I am from Rutland Town.
My name is Lila McCormick. I'm from Woodstock, Vermont, and I'm in 10th grade.
My name is Aurora Hensel Whalen. I am from Wethersfield, Vermont, and I'm also in 10th grade.
I'm Isabella Mordes. I'm also in 10th grade and I'm also from Wethersfield, Vermont.
I'm Paige Stone. I'm a senior. I'm from Barnard.
I'm Dexter Namkong. I'm also a senior and I'm from Killington.
I'm Logan Martes. I'm in 11th grade and from Wethersfield, Vermont.
All right, so we have a large group of towns and grades that we're from. Our first question that we're going to be going over is what happens at Woodstock Union High School that meets your learning needs and current/future interests? I can start off with a response to that. Something great that we do here at Woodstock is we call it C3. I forget what that stands for exactly, but it grants students the opportunity to take learning opportunities outside of their typical classroom setting. You can do internships, teachers' assistants roles, explore just any passion that you might have that you wouldn't have access to in your typical math class or English class or something such as that. So right now I enjoy helping my peers. So I'm currently through C3 participating in a teacher's assistant role as well as a private tutor for AP statistics, which is a great opportunity for me.
Something that Woodstock helps me, I'm a Hartford Tech student, so through Woodstock's program, I can go to the tech center and I take building trades. So I get to learn a trade skill, which will lead me on to going to college for construction management, which is a very lucrative career.
Something really unique to Woodstock is our craft program. And through this program, there's a lot of immersive projects. There is an immersive semester at King Farm right now where students have the opportunity to study at the farm for an entire block of their day. Basically, it just connects us to our environment, which is honestly, like in today's globe, really, really critical. And I think it's a vital part of our school.
And for context, real quick, CRAFT stands for Community and Climate Resilience through Agriculture, Forestry, and Technology. It's a program we have here that allows students to, like she said, connect with our environment in a way that we typically wouldn't be able to.
To kind of piggyback off of some of these people's points is Woodstock does a great job of giving students whatever they need. So if a student is very interested in a trade, we have them go to Hartford. If they're much more college oriented, we have, what is it? How many AP classes we got?
I think 17.
Okay.
Yeah.
We, we have a lot of AP classes to allow students to go in any field they want. We have a large art department. We pay an incredible attention to detail to every student to make sure that no one gets left behind.
Another thing that Woodstock does is sophomore year, we all have the opportunity to find a career we're interested in and write a letter to somebody we know in that field or somebody that the school can provide and go and shadow them for a day.
Yeah, I agree. I think like based on what everybody's been saying about all of the like flexible pathways and stuff, I think that's like one of the most important things about Woodstock as a whole. Like the like environment here is that everybody just wants you to like do your best and just like get to exactly where you want to be. And I think that we have a lot of like flexible pathways and like courses that you can take that will lead you to be like where you want to be, not necessarily taking like mindless classes that you don't want to be in. Like there's a lot of flexibility on that and like being able to do what you want to do.
Yeah, flexible pathways is a great way to phrase it. We don't have just one way that you can graduate and one way you can succeed. At Woodstock, we recognize that students have a lot of varied interests and a lot of different ways that they want to pursue their education. Does anybody have anything else to respond to that question? Should we move on to number 2? Okay. Number 2 is what is one example from your experience at Woodstock High School that truly stands out as a We Are Woodstock moment? My most, I'll start this one off. A recent example that I think represents the We Are Woodstock moment was the fall sport. 2 of our sports teams made it to the championship game, both of which took place over an hour away. But we still had a large student population showing up, both of them to support our sports teams. It was freezing for both games, but we all stayed. There's, I want to say, maybe even 50 of us for field hockey, and then at least 25 for football. Which coming from a small school, driving an hour away, that's a pretty large amount of us. And yeah, we all show up for each other, we all support, and it was a really fun opportunity to have a community experience.
Yeah, that bouncing off of that, I got to play in one of those games, and it's always super special to be able to play in a championship. I've got to play in 2, and it's always so special to see all of your classmates that you don't think actually care about your sport, but then they show up and they watch you play and they cheer you on. And so it was very special to see that at my own game, and then also go to the football championship game and see so many kids make the drive up and then freeze our butts off for our football team play.
Yeah, I also had athletics in mind. I played for the soccer team, and I think that the culture of Woodstock athletic wise is that we all really try to build each other up, and like all of our teams support one another. Like my soccer team, whenever there'd be field hockey games at home, like we'd make a run over to the field hockey team and cheer them on. Like it's all a very like supportive climate, and we all kind of try to build each other up within other teams as well as that in our own teams. So I think we all just kind of have like a mutual respect for one another across teams and different sports, which is really important.
Bouncing off of the field hockey championship, prior to their departure, our school was requested to show up to their send-off during our time. And I put an emphasis on the word requested because this was not at all a requirement, but it was so amazing to see everyone who showed up to wish our team good luck and send them off to the state championship.
I think also in general, just in the school itself, we are kind of a more collaborative group. Even like with the academic offerings we have, we're not against each other in a way where even if you're 2 very, very good students, you are willing to work with each other. We allow each other kind of that equal space, and we're willing to just generally collaborate with each other with a desire for kind of everyone to do well and not just one person succeeding above everyone else.
Yeah, going off of what Brody said, our school has an excellent community, I feel. We have Best Wednesday gatherings where the entire school gathers, and we participate in games and like announcements about sports. I feel like, I don't know, it's just a great representation of our school spirit.
I would like to go to a different point and say that I really like the fine arts nights that we have at Woodstock. Like, I understand it's just like one day out of every year, But that day is probably one of my favorite days out of the entire school year. One of them is because I am an origami designer. I've been designing my own origami for like 3 years. And then like when I finish an origami design, I usually just post it online. And it's cool and all, but one thing that I really put emphasis on is just like trying to have as many opportunities to show my pieces in person, because like obviously like online photos, you can't really, they don't really do as much justice as if you were to just see like art in person. And not only is it a great opportunity for me to just like display my pieces and show like the whole school like my side hobby that I've been doing and I'm like super passionate about, but just also to see like other people's art. I mean, and it's just like really cool to see like throughout the whole year, like what these, like the skills these students have been building, like their techniques that they've been refining all year. And then just the hard work our arts department also puts in to give these students the skills that they need, and like how far they've just come throughout the whole year.
What goes hand in hand with Dexter's point about the fine arts night is our excellent band director, Mr. Pauly. He puts on this massive band performance, and it's always really good to see the amount of people that show up. I'm not sure if you guys have seen the auditorium yet, but it isn't small, and that place is always filled. We, as a community, we want to show up. We want to support each other. We support this school.
And as a district-wide event, last year we actually had a whole arts night that was planned, and we actually had all the school's bands come together, and we were able to play multiple songs together. And I think that to me was really our Woodstock moment, because it wasn't just our high school, but it was our district. It was everyone coming together to perform, but in such a special way where seniors were playing with fourth graders and were able to actually present something to our public and community.
And I will say for the fine arts night that during that night of the band performance, like there's like a couple hours like after the school day between the end of the school day and the band performance. And I will say there are a lot of people who go to the art exhibit that is set up for fine arts night. And I will say like I see like a lot of people just like taking their time to like look at like almost all the pieces there, and just like it's really exciting to see. And of course for me, with having such a unique hobby, like I'm just able, like they can just see all these unique pieces that all these students have created, and just the unique skill set that Woodstock has.
I hate to rush this along, but for the sake of time, I'm going to move on to question 3. How does the current status of our facility impact your learning needs and interests, and do we have any specific examples? I can think of one example where we have a really cool space. I don't know the name of it, but down in one of the, I guess the far corner of our school, there's a bit of a wood shop with different computers where you can do computer innovation lab. Thank you. Computer automated design. There's machinery and tools where you can do some woodworking. It's a very, it's an amazing space that unfortunately, due to the size of it, I don't think that we get to take full advantage of its potential. So I guess that's one, limitation that might, it's a great facility, but the size of it makes it difficult to fully utilize it because only a certain amount of people can be there at a given time. So that's one example.
Something that I think I've been hopeful about based on like our facility here and Woodstock as a whole is the immersive semester at King Farm. We're kind of like focused on making that like an outdoor classroom that we can utilize, especially for the craft program, but for just all students who want like another place to learn and like want to do place-based learning, maybe not in the school where they can't really like work as hard as they want to. But I think that the immersive semester there and like building up that area where people can work is like really important and very foundational to just really like bring up students and make sure that they have like exactly what they need to work best.
Something I'll say is that like in the band room, it's a nice space, but with the amount of people who play instruments in there, it's too loud and it's actually damaging the ears. Like if someone's like wearing a watch, it can like go off like to tell how loud it is. And I like it. The space is nice, but the issue is that it's just not big enough for the amount of sound that's in there.
To build off what you were saying about the immersive semester, I'll give a little context. Our craft program, like I said earlier, is the Community and Climate Resilience through Agriculture, Forestry, and Technology, and students can participate in that pathway through a number of classes. And one such class that we're trying to create now is called the immersive semester, where we want students to have the opportunity to get out of the classroom and go up to this property called the King Farm, which is right across the street. It's up Rose Hill and to the left. It's very close to our school. But when you're up there, it looks nothing like a school because it's a farm. And that's a pretty amazing opportunity to be able to get up there most days for students who are taking that class. And we're hoping to expand that opportunity outside of the few people that are able to take advantage of it right now. All good. All right. Should we keep going or wrap this up?
If we need, no, it's for the, yeah, so now do the next round. Sorry.
Next round? All right.
It wasn't just.
Okay, so now we are going to exit the circle and you all are going to come in, right?
Probably stay seated here just so
Stay seated?
for time's sake.
Okay, so for the next part, we are going to have the outer circle participants reflect back on what we've said for 5 minutes, and we will just listen to what you all have to say and your thoughts on the matter.
Happy to kick off first, y'all facilitator. It's obvious you guys have maybe a tradition of doing this type of collaborative speaking, and it's nice to hear you all have equal opportunities to chime in and such. And my takeaway is we need to do this kind of format in the Senate chamber, okay? Because we don't talk about, equally talk about our visions and our, what we thought was appropriate or inappropriate. And so what you guys are doing here as far as a communications effort, spot on. Well done. Thank you. Of those of you in the circle, how many are here by choice? Because some of you are from choice. How many of you chose this school?
For me, it wasn't exactly actually, I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to respond, but I'll just say it wasn't exactly a choice. It was like the school lottery system. So I'm not directly a school choice. I can write.
But some of you were part of you chose, so and you chose Woodstock. Why did you choose Woodstock?
For me personally, I've always been a very academically driven student, and my primary reason for choosing Woodstock was the huge selection of AP courses our school offers, especially in comparison to surrounding schools in the area, and I wanted to offer some courses.
We'll say for any questions for our inner circle participants after this 5 minutes of reflection from you all, we'll have 5 minutes of question and answer. All good.
I didn't listen to the instructions. Well, so just to give you what we heard and we started this is that you have a school where you are very supportive of each other as a school. In fact, that's maybe I think the thing you wanted to hear the most loudly. And I think also that you feel like you're in a supported environment as well. And that you are in your own ways with your different interests able to thrive. Yeah.
I'm not an official member of the Outer Circle, but I'm fascinated to learn, especially about the arts night, the fine arts night, and some of the other activities that are not only just sports related. And know that as a member of the community, I don't always know what's going on. So I have, and sometimes I have to dig to find it. So, and that was brought up at the last school board meeting as maybe a better way to find out as a community member. So I would love to come to the fine arts night. And see what's going on and the band concert and that kind of stuff. So that was really cool to hear about all the things you're doing.
I'll just add, I think it was good to hear about the dynamic with the Career Technical Education Center and how the different schools are working together for folks who are trying to pursue career paths in the trades.
So we used to call this a round table, but obviously it was progressed to
for what it is now, but and I want kind of the same question about CPE. How many were actually CPE members go to Hartford? Did they handle, yeah, Hartford, right?
I just go to I'm the only
Yeah.
one.
So, one of my questions is gonna be, is, you know, your science, your math, how does that integrate with the CPE training you get there? If you're going, you know, do you have to take special math classes here or, I know there's no segment for that, but I'm just curious, but, cause I didn't get an answer when I was listening to that.
You want to segue into questions? Okay, all right. We have some teachers that love to.
Yeah, I think that's an appropriate time to transition into that.
Okay, so pretty much my learning path at Woodstock didn't really change. I took all the way up to Algebra 2 here, and then at Hartford, because I'm in the building trades, we mostly focus on building related maths. So using like different various tools that you'd find in the construction field, like framing squares and measuring. So my learning didn't really change at Woodstock in terms of having to take special courses. And at Hartford, I pretty much focus on just my trade, and all my other supplemental learning like English and sciences is all coming from Woodstock.
So you nailed my question, basically. You know, I'm a builder. I wish I'd paid more attention in geometry and algebra.
Yeah.
Because now I need those skills, but does the CPE center train you that, or do you get any of that math here?
It's pretty much all at the tech center. I don't do much in the terms of building here. We do offer a CAD class, computer aided design. So that's more of like the architectural side of building. But for the most part at the tech center, we're being trained on how to be builders.
Okay, so you don't actually take a math class here.
Not anymore. It is offered. I could take like AP statistics or AP calculus or pre-calculus, but I chose not to.
Thank you.
So, I'm gonna touch on college versus CTE just for a second. So my experience, my adult career experience, a lot of it was overseas. And I've seen cultures where they overemphasize university over trades to the point where there's not enough careers to put the college, university educated students into after they finish up. It's a whole nother problem, right?
Yeah.
And I'm curious what your thoughts would be about potential earlier CTE exposure than just probably, what is it now, 11th grade? Or?
I started last year, so it's just junior and senior year.
There you go. So junior and senior. So a lot of conversation in the committee over the past several years about potentially offering earlier opportunities, not necessarily all day or what have you, but at least go in, see what the programs are, come back out. You all would have the same opportunity, and you'd at least say, okay, look, yeah, so I saw whatever culinary program and it's not for me. Or I saw a building trades program and that's it, spot on. I'm just curious, any thoughts from you guys about earlier exposure?
Go ahead. You're the one.
I think would be incredible, because I know at Hartford they do offer in 8th grade, you can go and visit, and then you can also they have a summer camp you can do. I didn't know about that as an 8th grader, and it would have been something definitely I would have been engaged in, more willing to do. As a sophomore, you can do, they call it CTE, Career Technical Exploration, where you do try every single trade. And again, I knew about it, but I didn't realize that could have been an opportunity for me. And so if it's a more acceptable path, and I do think there was an overemphasis on college path, and now we're slowly seeing, well, you can't have everyone go to college because who's going to fix everything, and who's going to do the manual labor, because the skilled tradesmen are aging out and are retiring. So who is going to fill their spots? And so I think the earlier you can get students into a trade and thinking about what they can do after high school is super valuable. And I would say it'd be very valuable for our state.
Yeah, I just want to say I agree with Paige wholeheartedly. And while I'm not in the trades program, expanding it to making it available sooner is a great idea.
So we'll have Paige come into the committee and testify.
I heard one of the students here, West Rutland, you come from?
I come from Rutland Town.
Rutland Town, so that's quite a drive, correct?
Yeah, it is.
And why'd you choose this over, you had several other schools you could have chosen?
I did, yeah. I shadowed Woodstock one day, whereas I shadowed Rutland twice. And the one day I was here compared to the 2 days I was at Rutland was so much more valuable, and I felt like I learned something, even just over the course of one day. And I felt like the community at Woodstock was a lot stronger than that of Rutland or Burton or Mill River. So I think overall it just was stronger.
All right, and follow-up question to that is how, it must have been a decision you and your parents made?
Yeah, my parents we were moving at the time, so it was partially up to me where we moved to. So that gave me more options than I already had, which was amazing. And, but they were in full support of me coming to Woodstock, so.
So transportation-wise?
Transportation-wise, I have a bus. I just have to drive the 11 minutes into Killington, so, and then I just get picked up. But obviously now I have my license, so I can drive to school, which is a good option.
I heard one student say, talk about flexible pathway. You believe that should continue, and, you know, does everybody here have the opportunity to participate in that?
Yeah, I believe they're definitely like a crucial part of our learning here. I personally take like an online class right now. I'm focused on pursuing psychology in my college career. And so I'm taking an online class for psychology right now, and it's definitely like really fulfilling to take a class that like is fully focused on what you want to do, and like you know that like you want to pursue that. And I think it's really important that Woodstock provides those opportunities for students that know what they want to do but don't necessarily have that option to do here at Woodstock. So the fact that we have like online databases that can help us like get to that point is really, really important. And like our internships and stuff.
One more question? One more? Do you believe the school prepares you for what?
Yes.
Yeah, yes, no, later on, real quick.
I say yes. I think that as long as you as a student take agency over your own learning and participate in the many opportunities that are offered to you by this school, you should enter the whatever you pursue after high school fully prepared for that experience.
You want me to touch on that a little?
Go for it.
So I'm another student with school choice. I've took an entire year, took an entire class at Windsor. I've seen many schools throughout the states. And one thing that Woodstock does here very well, we don't leave students behind. I've seen schools where students are lost, they're confused, and many of them, unfortunately, are left behind and not prepared. That is not something we do here. We take a large emphasis on building up a community and making sure every student gets what they need, whether that's tech, whether that's through college. We make sure that they have it and they're ready to go.
Yeah. There's I think one of the most important aspects in not leaving students behind and letting them fall through the cracks is making sure that they feel like they're part of a community. And like we've touched on multiple times, we certainly have that here in Woodstock. There's so many opportunities for students to participate with their peers and just build that sense of connection to their school. And when students feel connected to their school in some way, whether that's sports, academic opportunities, theater, fine arts, they have more of a reason to take control of over their own learning and achieve their highest potential.
Yeah, I also want to touch on like just our amazing like community of faculty and teachers that are just like so very focused on like bringing us up as students and making sure that we are fully confident in ourselves and know that like we can do something and do exactly what we want to do. And I think that like just all of our teachers are just very, very genuinely like interested in us succeeding as people.
I think that that's kind of the thing with being a smaller school really helps with that, because you can be a lot closer to your teachers when you're kind of a tight-knit community. Your classes are maybe a little smaller and you have less total people. It's a lot easier to prevent people falling through the cracks when you kind of personally feel like you have a good working school relationship with your teachers.
And I personally also, one more thing, I came from California, where the high schools and even elementary schools had 3,000 plus students, and there's 30 students crammed into one classroom. And I don't think that was fair for educators to have us, it really limited our education. Back at my old school, we didn't have art classes or gym classes. We were very much limited, where students I did see fall and drop out of school. We're here, you don't. You're in a community where they don't let you fail.
Can I ask one question? Because I didn't hear it in all the introductions we had this morning. How many students in your graduating class?
For
75,
yeah,
roughly.
75 to 80. I think the grade below us has maybe like 90, 95. But in general, it should be between 70 and 100 for each class.
Yeah. So I just want to offer, these students volunteered to be part of this. Dr. C sent out an email and this group of students came forward. We didn't recruit. They came forward and offered to speak, and we are so proud of them. And I think if you grab another 10 students, then you have a similar conversation.
Did they offer you anything to do this?
No.
That's lunch as a result.
Yeah.
So thank you all. Do you have one more?
Just a comment, sounds to me like, from what I heard, that everybody would advocate for continuing the school choice.
Yes. Yeah.
Careful.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all. Thank you for coming. We really appreciate you coming in. We're gonna bring some teachers in now too. So thank you all for participating and thank you all.
Well done.
I think you all.